The tale begins as a fearless Viking crew sails toward unknown lands. The moment they dock, they're greeted by swarming insects and venomous snakes, an omen of danger. Supplies running low, they trek into the dense forest to scavenge for food. But deep within, arrows pierce one of them, killing him instantly. With no supplies and looming threats, they retreat to their ships. When they reach the coast, they find no wind to carry them back. In desperation, they pray to their god, the All-Father. First, they blind themselves in sacrifice, yet the wind stays still. Next, they burn one of their own alive, but still nothing. As a final plea, they erupt into a savage fight. Amid the bloodshed, the All-Father is pleased. A strong wind finally arrives, and the few survivors sail away. The story shifts to a prison. Shadow Moon lifts weights, telling his cellmate he senses something bad coming. His concern is brushed off. Later, he talks to his wife, Laura, who reassures him, only 5 more days till his release and a welcome party awaits. That night, her image appears on his cell wall. They share words of love before he dreams of a forest filled with bones and reaching tree branches that cut him. Next morning, the warden calls him in. Laura has died in a car accident. He's granted early release due to her death. At the airport, Shadow tries to switch flights but remembers his cellmate's advice: don't argue with staff. He stays calm and books the earliest flight for the next day, waiting overnight at the terminal. The next morning, Shadow sees an old man charming his way into first class. Coincidentally, Shadow is seated next to him. The man introduces himself as Mr. Wednesday and strangely knows a lot about Shadow. He offers Shadow a job, but Shadow declines, claiming he has a job waiting at a friend's gym. Wednesday hints he might not have one after all. Shadow dozes off and dreams of a fiery buffalo in a skull-filled orchard. He wakes as the plane lands early due to a storm and drives straight home. Elsewhere, a man meets Bilquis from a dating app. She seduces him, asking him to worship her. When he does, she absorbs him completely. After a long drive, Shadow stops at a bar and runs into Wednesday again, who breaks news. Robbie, Shadow's friend, also died in the same crash as Laura. Wednesday repeats his job offer. Shadow flips a coin to decide, picking heads, unwittingly binding himself to Wednesday. Later, a leprechaun named Mad Sweeney shows off a coin trick and challenges Shadow to a fight. Shadow wins and takes a magical coin. The next day, Shadow visits Laura's funeral. Audrey, Robbie's widow, reveals the affair between Laura and Robbie. She tries to seduce Shadow in grief, but he refuses, choosing to comfort her instead. As he leaves, he tosses Sweeney's coin into Laura's grave. Driving back, Shadow touches a strange device that latches to his face and knocks him out. He awakens to find himself facing Technical Boy, a digital god who demands information about Wednesday. Shadow knows nothing and is nearly hanged before being rescued. Meanwhile, aboard a slave ship, a spider crawls toward a chained man. Anansi, the trickster god, appears and warns the slaves of centuries of suffering ahead. He urges rebellion, are better to die fighting than in bondage. The slaves burn the ship, and Anansi escapes into the water. Shadow recovers from his injuries and confronts Wednesday, seeking clarity. Wednesday deflects but doubles his pay and assures him there's a plan. That night, Shadow dreams of Laura visiting him. The next day, he returns home to pack, finding Laura's phone and texts from Robbie. Hurt and betrayed, he decides to leave. Wednesday arrives and tells him not to mourn a cheater. They drive off to Chicago. Wednesday gives Shadow a shopping list, and while running errands, Shadow sees Lucy from an old TV show speak directly to him through a screen. She says she's a god of media and praises him for surviving Technical Boy. She offers her allegiance, but Shadow refuses and leaves. At a diner, Shadow confesses the TV encounter to Wednesday, who says it's a good signal they're noticing him. Better to be seen than forgotten, he says. Strange things are happening, but it's all part of learning. After tossing their cell phones, they move on. Meanwhile, Bilquis continues claiming new worshippers, consuming them. Wednesday and Shadow arrive in Chicago at the Zoria sisters' apartment. They meet two of the sisters, and Wednesday gives them gifts. Virgin Yaya, the eldest, reads Shadow's fortune from coffee grounds, predicting a long life with many children. Xenabog, their brother, arrives grumpy and reluctant to join Wednesday. They stay for dinner, where Xenabog talks of his slaughterhouse job. After the meal, he challenges Shadow to a game of checkers. If Xenabog wins, he gets to kill Shadow. If he loses, he'll join them. Shadow loses. Elsewhere, an old woman, Mrs. Fadil, answers her door and finds Jackal, the Egyptian god of death. She sees her own dead body and follows Jackal into the afterlife. He weighs her heart and guides her to the door of her eternal rest. Back at the apartment, Shadow wakes and follows a mysterious woman to the roof. She is the third sister, Zoria Polyunichnaya. She reads his fate and kisses him, giving him the moon in the form of a coin. Shadow challenges Xenabog again. This time, if he wins, Xenabog joins the quest. If he loses, Xenabog gets 2 swings with the hammer. They play again. Meanwhile, Wednesday asks Virgin Yaya to read his fortune. She warns of failure. Undeterred, he takes her for a walk and kisses her as it begins to rain. She says she tastes war. This time, Shadow wins. Xenabog agrees to join Thema but still claims 1 future swing. Sweeney wakes drunk in a bar, is thrown out, and catches a ride. A pipe from a truck impales the driver, and Sweeney realizes he's lost his lucky coin, the one Shadow took. Elsewhere, Salim, a Middle Eastern salesman, hails the cab and meets the driver, who turns out to be a jinn. They connect, and that night share an intimate experience. Salim wakes to find the jinn gone but his belongings left behind. Taking it as fate, Salim dons the clothes and begins a new life as a cab driver. Later, Shadow and Wednesday plan to rob a bank. Shadow is wary but follows along. Wednesday tells him to focus on snow. As Shadow concentrates, it starts snowing seemingly by his will. At lunch, Sweeney confronts Shadow, asking for his gold coin. Shadow says he threw it on Laura's grave. Wednesday sets up the bank job by creating a fake ATM error. Shadow poses as a repairman, and together they drain the deposits. Afterward, they return to the motel. Sweeney heads to the graveyard but finds it empty. Laura's body is gone. Back in the motel, Shadow opens the door to his room and finds Laura waiting. Subscribe for more videos like this. Turn on the notification, and leave 1000 likes or 100 comments if you'd like us to continue. Thank you.